Hello, today I will be doing a video on installing CoSort and Workbench on a Linux environment. So there are a few prereqs that you must have in order to follow this video. You have to have the CoSort Linux installation, the Workbench Linux installation, and the install script that goes with it. There is also a software install guide that goes through all of the commands and a lot of the information that I'll be showing you today. So let me just go ahead and X out of this. And in my downloads folder here, this is just a fresh install of Linux. So we'll go to files and downloads. And as you can see here, we have two separate tar files and a cosort-installer.sh. So first things first, we're going to extract CoSort. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click, open in terminal, or we're just opening a terminal in this location essentially. And then from here, we are going to run the shell script. So here I'm just executing the shell script and then passing along this cosort 1051, which is going to be this CoSort installation right here. We'll click enter to extract, and then it's going to ask us some questions. So here it's asking us to specify our CoSort home directory, and this is where I want it. So I'll just leave it as it is, and I'll select enter, and it's going to be extracting it here. It's going to ask us to view the release notes. We'll select no. And then it wants to know if we want to run the CS setup. We'll select yes. And then the CS setup will appear and it's going to prompt us. The option that we want to select is going to be our first time setup since we are just now installing it. And it's going to ask us a few questions. So it's going to ask us for the serial number, which is going to be provided by IRI when you email us, a company name, and then a few other items. You're going to go ahead and just fill all of these out. And then once you're done, it's going to prompt you with this, and you are able to modify the resource control settings from here, or you can just press 0 to save and continue, and we're not going to discuss that. We're just going to continue. And then it's going to ask us where we're going to save the resource control settings. We're going to leave it as default and press enter. Here it's just going to go over a little bit more information. It's going to let us know that the registration form can be found at this CoSort 105 etc reg form. And we have to request a license key and we have to email the file, this reg form, to licenses@iri.com. So here we're just going to press enter to continue and we are finished. So we'll press 4 to exit and I'm just going to close the terminal. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and extract this workbench. But just to make things a little bit cleaner, I'm just going to create a new folder called Workbench 2 and then just move this tar file into there. This isn't necessary, but it just makes it look a little bit cleaner when I'm demonstrating. So I'm just going to cd into, or open a terminal into this Workbench 2 folder, and I'm going to extract. And I'm just giving specific privileges when extracting here. And again, all of these commands are going to be found in that documentation that I had mentioned earlier. So I'm going to press enter to extract. We're just going to let it do its thing. And it's finished. So we'll X out of this, and it has been extracted. So from here, now what we have to do is we have to update the environment variable. And when you're doing this, make sure that you are doing it for the profile and not the terminal. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and open up a new terminal anywhere it does not matter. And we're going to go ahead and update the environment variables. So I'll go into profile, just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and add the environment variables down here. So as you can see, you're going to need a CoSort home, and it's pointing directly to this home CoSort downloads, CoSort 105, which is going to be right here. Then now we also have to make a path to the bin, And to do that, it's just going to be a path using this CoSort home variable and then to the bin, just like that. Now we can save it and then we can close it. Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is now we have to let this take effect, and we're just going to have to log out and then log back in order for that profile to be updated. So I'll go ahead and do that really fast. All right, and now that we're back in, we're going to go ahead and just open up a new terminal, and we're going to type in the command sortcl /v. And what this is going to do is it's going to check the license keys, but it's also going to tell us two things: that the environment variable is set as well. So as you can see here, we actually have a license error because it cannot find the license keys, and that's because you have to send the reg form that was produced. So I'll just go ahead and show you that again. So if you go into the CoSort folder that was installed, etc, and then this regform.txt. This has to be sent out, and then keys will be provided to you, and then they will be updated inside the cosort.license file. So I'll just go ahead and open this up for you. And then the keys will be placed in here. You can do this manually using Nano or some other text editor, or you can do it through the terminal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab those keys. Okay, and now that I have those keys in place inside my cosort.lic, I'm going to go ahead and open up in terminal. Again, it doesn't matter where you do it because we have the variable set, and we'll just run the command again, sortcl/v. And as you can see here, it now says that we have valid keys and will give us an expiration date. All right, so we'll go ahead and X out of that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go into the workbench. So CoSort has been officially fully set up with valid keys. Now we'll go ahead and double click the IRI Workbench to open it. And we're going to select Launch. And it's just going to take a second to load up. Perfect. Now from here, we can just go ahead and X out, and we can maximize it. One thing that we do have to do and check for is we will do this drop-down menu for the IRI menu, select IRI Preferences, drop down IRI, and we'll select Products. And what we want to verify here is that we have a CoSort product here. If you don't see this, what you'll have to do is you'll have to select Add, give it a name, select the product, and if this location doesn't automatically populate, you'll just have to browse to your CoSort 105 location. But since we have it, everything is perfectly fine. Now, what we're going to do is just to double verify, we're going to go ahead and just create a new project. Doesn't matter what we name it. And we'll select this Create Examples. Select Finish. And we're going to get a folder with a script inside of it that we can run. So we'll just double click it, right click, run as, and then an IRI job. And as you can see here, we are getting an output, which means that everything has been set up properly. If you get a license key violation or anything else along those lines, that just means that your license keys, you don't have license keys set up properly. And that is going to be how you set up CoSort and Workbench in a Linux environment.